This is Heaven's Vault. It's a puzzle game about linguistics, I believe, is what I've been told. I love the idea of learning other languages. I've been actually playing Duolingo like it's a game on my bus rides lately, trying to learn how to comprehend
Stories
hiragana.
don't have tidy beginnings. The past is always present.
It seems like this game might be relevant to
But
my
there has to be a spark.
to my desire to learn hiragana.
Something that brings the past to light.
Please, climb carefully. Oh. Careful you don't roll backwards. It's Monty Python's Flying Circus? No, wait. It's a long way, is what it is. It's really interesting that when she's walking, they don't draw the bottoms of her feet. Take a moment to rest before you walk, mistress, please. Oh, I'm moving very slowly. So when I'm standing still, my feet make purchase, but when I'm moving, my feet fade out. So am I walking slowly because I'm hindered in some way, or has something gone wrong? It's hard to be sure. A bricked up opening. There is something here. To keep people out, do you think? Or to keep something in? There's something written here. Ancient script. This must have been cut in when the mortar was still wet. But I think I can read it. Alright, so I think we're going to go into a flashback now. And I'm going to learn how to read that stuff. Ooh, Heaven's Vault. I wonder if that text reads Heaven's Vault. We'll find out. I should have memorized those symbols. They're probably, I could probably use that as a cheat later on. The University of Iox, some weeks later.
My story begins on Iox. That was where I met the robot.
The robot. Does it even have a name? It's just some robot? So what do you bet that originally their animations did involve feet, and something about it was really ugly and awkward, and so they removed the feet in order to solve the problem and just made it an artistic choice? Anyway, so this robot's going to be guiding me somewhere. Am I in trouble? Which is totally what I would say. I'm in trouble, aren't I? She did not say, but I imagine she's simply being welcoming. This way. Yeah. Do you have a name, robot? Is that intended to be a joke, mistress? No. Robots do not have names. Oh. We are, as I understand it, interchangeable. I've known a few robots. They're all a little different. How kind of you to say so, mistress. Did she say what she wanted? Yes. She said she wanted you. This conversation system kind of reminds me a little bit of Oxenfree. It's like I'm able to just sort of idly talk as we're moving around. This way. You should know that the professor's urgency was remarkable. Look at her. She looks like a tiger in a cage. The most curious analogy, mistress. You understand, I will be required to report it. So, okay, I've got two reply buttons. Required to? Of course. Professor Mayari is my primary user mistress. Nevertheless, I will try to sugarcoat your opinion. So I can decide whether to ask a question with X or... Oh, and now B just went away? Why did B go away? How does this work? You do that for me? Of course. I've been tasked with your well-being. Shall we proceed? The Tree of Knowledge. Or so they call it. Each branch grows more branches. What is this thing on the right? The tree is still there, though. Okay, so I've got a timeline where I'm placing events. So I just like unlocked an event on the timeline since I considered the tree. I'm now aware of when it was planted. That's interesting. Oh, I've got other ones, just other things that I happen to know. So this is me right now. I'm visiting Iox. And did I live at the Great Ladies Orphanage? Or I don't know what that is. Interesting. Okay, well, I guess I'll learn more context on these things later. Yeah. Okay, so can I find... Alright, so I've got timelines for different locations. Holy crap. My birth. So I'm 33 years old. Okay, I know it's not the best streaming content, but I actually kind of want to know about my history now. So I don't know the true date of my birth. The Grey Ladies gave me a day, different from the other children at the orphanage. Why was I so special? Oroi and I became friends, sneaking around the halls. She stole screwdrivers and I stole books. The Grey Ladies Orphanage. They raised me and found me work from the moment I could walk. From here to here, okay. I met Timur. I would later work with Timur in his bar, washing up and fetching supplies. Miari visits the orphanage on Elbereth. That's what brought her there. I've never understood. I guess I don't have enough context to understand these things yet. My first kiss. We never thought we'd leave the orphanage. Adulthood seemed impossibly far away. Miari takes me to Iox. It was on Iox my tuition began in earnest. Oroi sets up her workshop. I worked for Timur. Okay, so that kind of overlapped with the orphanage, but then I left. Oroi's daughter is born. She named after me. Interesting that things that take a long time, like, I highlight them when I get to the middle of them. So actually, me starting to work for Timur happened before Miari took me to Iox and Oroi setting up her workshop. But the middle of it happened here. Then I met Tapi, whoever that is, found the Nightingale. It's a ship. Oroi had a son. He works for Timur, too. Oroi helped me to... Wait, she had a son 9 years ago, and he works for Timur at 9 years old. Wow. Oroi helped to launch the Nightingale. 3 breaks down. So it's a robot. Okay, so I had a robot that broke down, and Oroi bought them, and that's the last thing. Okay. This is very interesting. I like the idea of having entries on a timeline be effectively collectibles. That's what it looks like they're going to be. I don't know. Well, let's see how this goes. What do you think of the sculpture? It has a pleasing balance to it. I agree. Miari must like it too. She has a model just like it on her desk. Okay, so I'll remark about something. I went outside the university grounds once exploring. This is a very beautiful moon. You can tell it was once lush, fertile. There must have been huge forests, lakes, rivers.
I was 15 when Mayari rescued me from the slums of Elbereth and brought me here. I'd never seen such luxury or such kindness. I still don't know why she did it.
Professor Miari? Aliyah, there you are. Come in. I came as soon as I got your message. And the robot says, no, she didn't. She screwed around looking at trees. You don't need to flatter me, Aliyah. Nonetheless, I'm glad you came. I know your work is important to you. Tell me what you need, Professor. Straight to business. Very good. You are an expert on history. Tell me what you make of this. It's certainly old. Empire period. The device is the eagle in the sun. One of the scholars sent this brooch to me. Janaki Renba. Do you know him? Maybe. I'm not sure. So it added to my timeline when I guessed the brooch was made. Interesting. I see them. Ancient markings. I know they're a hobby of yours, Aaliyah, but can you read them? Okay, so my controller is vibrating like crazy right now. I've never seen either of these groupings before, but the two words have some common elements, so they must have related meanings. So it's an eagle-winged brooch. So this could mean friend or holy, and this could mean emperor or beloved, because it means friend. So this could mean friend, and this could mean friend? What? These things are so similar, it's hard for me to tell the details. This does kind of remind me of my attempts to learn hiragana, because like I've grown up with learning the Roman alphabet, and I've just gotten so used to the idea that an R makes a sound and a D makes a D sound, and it comes to me so naturally that I just don't think about it. But trying to learn a completely different set of symbols that means a certain set of sounds, I don't have any of those intuitions, and so it really underscores how arbitrary all of these things are, right? Because like the patterns or whatever of like what sounds like what in hiragana, it's only starting to come together for me now after a couple of weeks of trying to mess with it. Whereas for other people who grew up speaking Japanese and reading Japanese, like it just comes just as naturally to them as the Roman alphabet does to me. And so it's interesting, always just sort of looking at something for the very first time when this could mean literally anything. I don't even know where to start. So this could be Holy Emperor, or it could be friend, or beloved friend. I'm going to go with beloved friend. Okay, so I'm going to commit to this. It's kind of random. Okay, yeah, so it's nice that the character's only guessing, because we know that I am also only guessing. What's this about? Janaki told me he had found something that was more than a month ago. Janaki isn't like you. He's an Ioxian, through and through. You mean he's soft? I mean he's reliable. Something persuaded him to go to Mercy, of all places. I can't go hunting the nebula for missing people, Lydia, but you can. So wait, so he's missing? You need to raise my stipend. I'll look, but no promises. That's fair, thank you. Come back soon, Aaliyah. Okay, so I can now visit Mercy in the Verdant Path. And I'm taking the robot with me, am I? Hello, says the robot. Thank you, Professor. I long to see the nebula. Oh, and before you go, you should look in on Huang. He was eager to see you. That doesn't sound promising. Oh, don't be mean, Aaliyah. I know he's rather beneath you, but you could at least say good faith to him. For the benefit of our little community. I'll bear that in mind. You're as cold as the rivers themselves, well suited to the stars. He's down there by the tree. I don't know if I want to be cold. You must have walked straight past him on your way in. Good hunting, my dear. All right. Can I just say, Mr. Celia, it's wonderful to be accompanying you. I hate robots. I'm not going to say that. Oh, yes? Why is that? I find humans fascinating. And you are very different to most here. I've only recently been activated. I'm calling you Six. Six, mistress? I shall remember that. You know, I don't think I got the translation on this brooch quite right. The shape indicates it's an empire piece, so I'd expect the inscription to reflect that. Alright. That does make sense. The wings and eagle thing. Okay, so what am I doing? Okay, so let's review this. Okay, so if it's maybe it's Emperor. Let's just try Holy Emperor. Holy Emperor, then? I think that's at least closer to it. I was just given another robot just now. Is that Huang? I didn't know you were back on Iox. How are you, Huang? Well enough, well enough. I've been reading all day. I just came outside to rest my eyes, and there you were. I've got a new robot. I've called it Six. Greetings, Master Wang. Another one? Is that wise? You don't always bring them back. You don't ever, really. I'll walk you to the dock. Whoa. I guess I need to rotate the camera. What were you reading? The annals again. Do you know Mazwai claims the Holy Empire was founded by 3 wolves racing to heaven? Each one tore the throat of the other as the 3 fell to earth. Are you really interested? Is it relevant to anything? It's only a story. But then stories change how we think. Tell me a story then. All right. Most people glaze over.
He continued to talk. I watched his mouth moving. I love old stories, but Wang has a way of telling them.
Aaliyah? Yes? You weren't listening. Never mind. I'm sorry, I'm distracted. Is something the matter? Huang, do you know Janaki Renba? But I know Renba, of course. Well, a little, but why? When did you last see him? He was here at the university. Maybe 2 weeks ago now. What sort of a man is he? He hasn't asked you to dinner, has he? Does that happen a lot? With Renba? No, not that I know of. He's fairly quiet, keeps to himself. Likes his robots. What did he teach? Robotics, that's what I meant. One of the best, one of the few. Did you say did? Has something happened to Janiki? Janiki? What am I calling him? Janiki? I'll let you know. By the waters. Before you go, hardly seems important now, but I found a line of ancient in the annals of Mazwai I thought you might like. If you have time, that is. Show me, I'll let you know if I have time. Here, see what you think. Okay, so because I already identified that symbol as Empire... Oh, this is a long one. Let me think. The second word doesn't look like anything I've seen before. I don't recognize this last word either. The fact that it keeps going in and out of the interface is kind of weirding me out. Okay, so so this one could be rebels, blades, robots, or machines. This one could be banished or buried. I mean, if we're talking about robots a lot, I like the idea of an ancient manuscript mentioning robots. So I'm gonna go with this. What? Wait, we're looking through vaults and things. So okay, so just from context in the story that I know that the character might not, I'm gonna try Empress buried robots. Does Empress buried robots make sense? Robots were buried, mistress. I myself have only recently been dug up. But I thought there weren't any robots in the Empire. This suggests otherwise. I'd best not keep you. I hope you find him. So one thing that's interesting about this game, usually... Oh, wait, here we go. Let's get through this dialogue first and I'll comment on it. I have no idea, mistress. But I'm keen to find out. And so we left the hallowed walls of the university. Okay, so if you've been watching my stream for a while, you know that I typically like skip past or avoid a lot of dialogue, a lot of text, a lot of lore. And this time I haven't been. This time I've actually been wanting to pursue things. And I think maybe it's because this game's made it really clear that uncovering lore is my goal. That like my success is kind of contingent on finding out the answers. That's vaguely the sense I have from this game. And so it's actually making me want to pursue side stories, lore, answers to questions, whereas normally I skip past that stuff to get to the action, to get to what the game is, you know, really about. In this case, this is what the game's really about, and so I'm exploring it. Hey there, awesome Twitch dude. So my timeline gets down to seconds and minutes. Like, wow, a few minutes ago, you got another robot. Then as I go back in time, the scale goes to days, and then years, and then thousands of years. And apparently 6 has been buried for a millennium. Interesting. So it updates my timeline as the level ends. Awesome Twitch dude is asking whether or not we're going to keep supporting State of Decay 2 and keep adding content even after Trumbull Valley. Yeah, we are planning on maintaining it for, you know, the foreseeable future. So, I mean, I'm sure at some point, you know, we'll probably have to pull back, but we're not seeing that time around the corner yet. So here we are aboard the Nightingale, which I guess is my ship. The journey to Mercy will be quick, mistress. You want to sail, 6? I'm really not sure that I have sailed before, mistress. I should watch how it's done, I think. All right, then. Oh, I guess I should have asked about Mercy. Oh, well. I will prepare a route, mistress. Hopefully we can make a profit. Let's just say this. Maybe Mercy will have a few ruins of its own. That seems unlikely. It is a moon of pigs and rice, mistress. Part of the Iox Protectorate, of course. But it is not wealthy. Hopefully, all will become clearer soon. Alright, so I was on Iox, and so wait. How is this map structured? Am I looking at... I mean, I'm going on a ship, right? To space? So are these like planets and moons? So Janicki told Professor, right, sure. Okay, so I'm going to confirm that I want to sail there. I had to push that a couple times. I'm not quite sure how that screen works. Oh, Cloudcraft is reminding me that I I mislabeled the game that I'm playing here. You're right. This is not the bridge. This is Heaven's Vault. I always do that. I forget to change the game I'm working on. Actually, you know what? Before I hit A, I think I'm going to update it. So for those of you watching later on YouTube, I'm doing nothing that matters to you at all, and it's very exciting to watch me do it. Heaven's Vault is what I'm playing. Update information. Okay, back to the game. I'm sailing to Mercy.
Mayari wanted us to sail to Mayerzi. It was a short sail through fast waters.
These don't look like waters. Oh wait, am I steering this? Oh, I'm steering this. I didn't quite realize. So are these like rivers of space-time? Okay. Fascinating. This is very weird. No, don't go that way, don't go that way. This is very strange. I can't tell what this is representing. So this is a story with robots and moons, but also a place like this. This is your ship, mistress? Oh, wait, I wanted to go that way. No. Ah! I went the wrong way. Let's reset. Okay, so is this starting me at the beginning or just back a turn? Just back a turn. Okay. Interesting. What role does this mechanic play in this story, in the game? I kind of expected to just appear wherever I selected on that map. Actually, having to pilot some kind of fantastical craft is a surprise. Alright, so now I arrive in this place. Oh, so Cloudcraft, because I was so focused on navigating, I was not paying attention to the dialogue options. This is basically, the dialogue in this game works a lot like Oxenfree, where you can just reply to things while you're walking around and doing stuff. And so that's what you were seeing down there. Okay, so I'm looking for...
We stepped off the ship and into the mud. Mud covered the ground and rock. And everywhere I looked, things were growing from the mud. And some of those things had legs.
Look at this place. Breathe the air. I cannot breathe, mistress. But rest assured, I am most happy for you, all the same. So, Cloudcraft, are you saying that the dialogue is louder than it should be? So let's see where Renbar's got to. If we're really lucky, he'll have found an old pot. Okay, so this guy is like an archaeologist. He studies robots, but in this world, robotics can be archaeology. So where do we start? There's a series of rice terraces. If we climb up away from the water, that should take us to the village. Okay, so the map. Okay, my map just shows me places like Mercy. It does not show me local stuff. So let me really quick, if the dialogue is really loud, I can probably take it down a few pegs. Take the sound effects down too. See if that works a little bit better for you. So I can just keep asking questions whenever I want to. Can you do a scan for Janaki or something? Mistress has mistaken me for a dog. Perhaps if you believe I have a scrap of clothing, then I could trace his scent. I love these old moons, with their ancient stories. Who is that, for instance? One of the older goddesses? She's guarding the fields. I would estimate over 1,500 years have passed since she was carved. Okay, so that gets added to my timeline too, and then I can reply to him. Oh, that's a long time. Relative to what, exactly? There used to be gods throughout the nebula. Even on Iox. Before the empire was founded. I'm surprised Iox let this one stay. Would you recognize Renba if we saw him? Did you meet him? I believe he activated me, mistress. I suspect that is why Professor Mayari assigned me to you. So I don't have control when I'm going up this ramp.
The air smelled earthy and sweet.
Rice. Do they grow anything else here? Okay, so I just saw a location and I pressed Y and my character walked there herself. Navigating this world is interesting. I mean, they've decided to go with these sprite-based characters, which are, it's challenging enough to try to figure out where they're standing in the world and move them around. It looks like maybe they ran into enough trouble that they wanted to give me the ability to just point at destinations and go. Or maybe if I was playing this with a mouse, I could be clicking on locations to go there. Okay, so oh, hello. Who are you? Do I know you? You're from Iox, aren't you? My name is Aaliyah. And you're not her. Not Mayari. Is that a lie in the middle? Oh well, let's go with I'm not Mayari. I'm sorry. I should have said nothing. So there's probably information I could have gotten by lying and claiming to be Mayari. Is a woman like that why Renba came here? Humans are most curious. It would seem that someone from Iox has visited here recently. It appears Renba was never here, mistress. Perhaps we should return to the ship. So why can't I just tell that woman that Mayari sent me? Mayari told me to look, so I'm looking. How much higher? I wonder why the robot doesn't want to go. I find it interesting that I've done so little translating so far. All I've done is navigate the world and talk to people with a tiny, tiny bit of translating that was effectively guesswork. I want to get to that person over there. Stranger! Greetings. Greetings to you. Welcome to Mayersi. Have you come to trade? Actually, I'm looking for someone. Who? Not a Mayersian, surely. We are all alike. We are alike as ants to you. Okay, there you go. My friend's an Ioxian. We don't keep any of those in our pens. Good luck for your search. They say the nebula is wide. Helpful. Alright. Well, let's look around anyway. We must be at the top now. There should be a communal point somewhere here. Oh, I can't go any further down this way? Okay, fine. What did you make of Renba's brooch, Six? The one he sent to Mayari. I was struck by the craftsmanship. It seemed very fine to me. It is an artisanal product, high status. Yeah, so I am curious that it feels like there's a limit to how much walking around I am going to want to do until we get to the core mechanic of the game. Oh. No one on Mayor's. He wants to talk to me. Is that an event or is that just a situation?
Three paths met at the heart of the village. I could imagine them all sitting around here in the evenings, sipping rocco and singing. It seemed nice.
Okay, it feels like the dialogue's a little soft now, so I think I might have overcorrected. And I brought down sound effects too in case it'd be annoying, but it sounds like we're just not picking them up anymore. So let's go with this. Oh, now I'm hearing the sound effects. Okay, that's a little much on the sound effects side. Another thing. Yes? Do you recognize this? I recognize the symbol of our Ioxian masters, of course. But do you recognize this brooch? No. No one here would own a brooch like that. Not every slave must wear their chains. No one else in this village would talk to me. And this surprises you? Good faith to you. Yeah, it sounds like these people are kind of unhappy. I'm not finished with you yet. Oh, is that so? I just want to find this man. His name is Janaki Renba. Your husband, perhaps? Gone wandering. I'm afraid something's happened to him. If we had seen your husband, if he had met with an accident among us, what would Iox do? I just want to know where he is. We have not seen him. Now leave. So do I claim my people are just unfair? He clearly seems to disagree with it. I could threaten him with our punishment, or just feign misunderstanding. I feel like the thing I want to do is acknowledge that my people are bad and ask him to help me anyway because I'm a nice person. And that I similarly criticize the Empire and try to build a bridge that way. That's not one of my options. I guess I'll go with I don't understand why you're lying to me? I don't understand why you're lying to me. The man sighed. Your husband was here. He left in a ship. Then something exploded in the sky. I do not know if that was your friend. Thank you. Good faith to you, lady. Please, leave us be. So, Cloudcraft, I don't know if the characters are an aesthetic choice. The fact that everything's sprite-based is an aesthetic choice or not. I'm not, I haven't heard the team talking about it, but I imagine that when you're making a smaller scale indie game, a lot of what you choose is often determined by the people that you have. And so if their team included someone who was very confident drawing, 2D comic book style sprites of characters and was less confident, 3D modeling realistic characters. I mean, everybody's seen 3D models of characters looking like they're like kind of in the uncanny valley where they're trying to look realistic, but it's just not working. I think this might have been a way to use the talents that they had to make something that really looked striking without sort of overextending themselves, with trying to take on something that takes a lot more time and effort and resources to really make look good. They could make something that looked good this way and skip a lot of those headaches. That's what I imagine it might have been. I know nothing about this actual team. Like for instance, if they have an artist who just loves to make art like this, and this is what they wanted to do, they could have just done it because aesthetically that's what they wanted to do. Or it could be that, trying to do 3D animation would have taken resources or skills that they didn't have represented on their team, and this was a necessity. It really could be either one, and it kind of doesn't matter. Like, even if it's necessity, usually what you want to do is, if you have to make a choice for necessity, you try to lean into the aesthetic value of it. Like, if if you have to do things in a certain way, if you have to have, like, say you're making something on a less powerful platform, and so you have to have lower poly models, then you lean into an aesthetic that lets you have lower poly models. And then it becomes an aesthetic choice. Even if it really was a resource-based choice, at its fundamental level, you still make it an aesthetic choice. And then it instead of becoming, sort of a stopgap solution, it becomes an active, creative decision, which, it kind of liberates you a little bit. So someone's carved something here. Symbols in the ancient script. I might be able to translate them. Okay, so historically, I've guessed that might mean holy. So these symbols they resemble what I've called emperor. Do they, though? This doesn't look like it says empress or emperor. This one does slightly more so. Okay, so if I was guessing that this means holy, I feel like this might be related to holy. Like this word holy, that first symbol could mean like or as. So it could be like, if this means goddess, this could mean like the goddess, which could mean holy, right? So I'm going to go with that. I'm going to say goddess. Death, snake, light, water. Well, can I back out of here and look around? Like, I was thinking, I want to look at this figure. Empress, buried robots. Right, okay. I chose this translation for a reason. Let's see if I can remember what it was. Okay, interesting. So the game is saying that Empress, my choice of the word Empress in this previous sentence, might be relevant to this new translation. So let me come over here to look at the context and try to figure out why I said Empress. Now, it turns out I said Empress because this is actually from further back, I think. I chose it because something looked like it had imperial symbolism on it. And this felt right because the robot confirmed after I selected it. Like, this seemed relevant to the story that was being told, and so I selected it for those reasons, and the robot seemed to confirm it. So, okay. It is kind of difficult to navigate this. My stick seems kind of oversensitive. Let's take another look at this. So, I would like to look at the goddess, and let's just say it's a water goddess. I mean, that looks kind of like water. I could still change my mind, but holy water goddess? There's certainly plenty of water here. She's guarding the most precious resource, keeping it all fertile. Okay, so there's nothing about this goddess that looks like I chose wrong, necessarily. So my character's making this assertion that maybe I've translated it correctly, but who knows? If I'd chosen something else, maybe she would have justified that just as much. So are there any other inscriptions around here that I could check out? Clarkcraft wonders if I can ask people about the statue. So one thing I can't do is change my mind after I started going down a ramp. I got the impression that the villagers were never going to talk to me, and so I just kind of stopped. What's this dot over here, though? Something scratched here. The emblem of Iox. I suppose this is where Maersian leave goods for the Ioxians to collect. Interesting. So it's interesting that I leave these little shades behind me whenever I move around. Huh, I can go lower. You can wait, can't you? So I started going down here, but the robot says I won't follow you. Tell that to Mayari. It's interesting that I often am not choosing... Oh, a key? What? I'm often not choosing what I say. I'm just choosing whether to say something. Okay, so I found a key from the same site with the brooch. Okay, so there's a new site indicated up there. So this place is called the Nebula. So are these just like little planets and moons that are floating free in the middle of a nebula somewhere? And that's what I'm sailing on? Back to the ship, 6. We've done all we can here for now. So as much as I've enjoyed listening to these characters talk, and as fascinated as I am by these timelines and the events that I'm collecting, this is moving kind of slow. So I've already just gotten through my hour, my lunch break, so I'm going to have to quit. And we didn't really make that much progress. It seems like the kind of game that you need to play if you've got a lot of time on your hands. So it's still really interesting. And so I'll probably keep at it. I just need to figure out the right time to quit now. Is it saving all the time? I'm quite certain of my analysis, mistress. The crystal at the heart of Renba's brooch comes from somewhere nearby. Somewhere on the edge of the cyclones. The cyclones is a dangerous wild. There's nothing there but clouds and storms. I'm aware of that, mistress. I wonder, what exactly did Renba discover? The dangers of sailing through a hurricane? I don't want whatever happened to Renba happening to us. I will do my best to keep you safe, mistress. But then again, I imagine Renba's robot said the same thing. So the robot's piloting my ship? Alright, let's see if I can get out of here. Well, let's plot this course. Can I get out from the travel gameplay? The Verdant Pass. Sailing to the source of the brooch crystal. Okay. Can I save and quit? Here we go. Yeah, I assume that it let me save, because I've just quit. All right, well, thanks for joining me for this. It is kind of a slow-paced game, but it's fascinating, and it's definitely relevant to my interests right now, so I'll be checking it out some more, and hopefully we'll get to see some of the language gameplay.